Every night at 3:17 am, someone knocks on my door and whispers my name. Last week, I finally checked the security footage. There was no one there, but the microphone still picked up the sound. My name is Elena Voss, and for 11 nights, someone has been knocking on my apartment door at exactly 3:17 am in the morning. Not close to 3:17 am, not around that time exactly. I know because I checked the clock every single time, and every single time, the red numbers on my nightstand read the same 3 digits, like something had reached inside my skull and set an alarm I never agreed to. The knock is soft, almost polite. 3 taps, evenly spaced, followed by a pause just long enough for my heart to climb into my throat, then a whisper, low and dry right up against the wood. Elena, just my name, nothing else. I work nights. I've worked nights for 6 years. Answering calls for a crisis hotline, the kind of job where you learn to recognize the difference between someone who wants to talk and someone who's already decided. You learn to listen for the silence between words. So when I tell you, I know what a real threat sounds like. I mean it, and this didn't sound like danger. It sounded like grief. The first night, I told myself it was a dream bleeding into waking. The second night, I convinced myself it was a neighbor, drunk, confused about which door was his. By the 5th night, I'd installed a battery-powered camera above my peephole, the kind that sends a notification to your phone the second it detects motion. On the 6th night, it went off at 3:17 am exactly. I watched the footage with my thumb hovering over the screen, half expecting to see a face. The hallway was empty, just the flat fluorescent light humming over dented carpet. The number fork on my neighbor's door, nothing else, and yet the audio had the knock, 3 taps, and then, quieter than before, almost swallowed by static. Elena, I didn't sleep that night or the next. By the 8th night, I started recording myself. I set an old phone on the dresser, pointed at the bed, just to see what I looked like while I slept, because a small ugly part of me had started to wonder if I was the one making the sound, if I was sleepwalking to my own door and knocking on it from the inside. Calling out to nobody, what I found was worse. At 3:14 am, on the recording, I sit up in bed and my eyes are open. I get up, walk to the door, not the hallway door, my bedroom door, and I press my palm flat against it, and I whisper a name, not mine, Mara. I hadn't said that name out loud in 4 years. Mara was my younger sister. She struggled for most of her adult life with addiction, and I spent most of mine trying to fix her, rescue her, save her, whatever verb you want to use for loving someone so hard it turns into exhaustion. The last time she called me, it was 3:17 am in the morning. I saw the missed call the next day, sitting there on my phone screen like an accusation. I'd turned my ringer off the night before because I had a shift in 6 hours, and I couldn't keep doing this, I told myself. I couldn't keep being her only safety net. By the time I called her back that afternoon, her roommate had already found her. I never told anyone that detail. Not my mother, not my therapist, not one living soul. The exact time, 3:17 am, so when I found myself on video, sleepwalking to a door and whispering my dead sister's name at the precise minute she used to call me, I did what any reasonable person does. I assumed I was losing my mind quietly, privately, in a way I could still control. Then on the 9th night, the knock came again. Except this time I was already awake, sitting at my kitchen table with the lights on, staring at nothing. I heard it clearly from the front door, the real hallway door, 30 feet from my bedroom. 3 taps, my name whispered. I hadn't moved. I know I hadn't moved. I opened the door with my hands shaking so hard I nearly dropped my phone. The hallway was empty, the way it always was, but down at the far end, near the stairwell, a door was easing shut. Fork, my downstairs adjacent neighbor's apartment. An elderly man named Walter Hemsley, who I'd exchanged maybe a dozen words with in 3 years of living here. I went to the building manager the next morning, half accusation, half plea for reassurance. She told me something I wasn't expecting. Walter had early-stage dementia. His wife had passed 2 years ago, and before that, decades before that, he's lost a daughter. She said his home health aide had mentioned he's started wandering again at night, especially since his diagnosis worsened, that he sometimes forgot his wife was gone, sometimes forgot which decade he was in, and that he'd been found more than once standing at doors up and down the hallway. Gently knocking, calling a name, I asked what the name was. She looked uncomfortable saying it, like it was too intimate a thing to hand over. Elena, she said. His daughter's name was Elena. She died when she was about your age, car accident, a long time back. I want you to sit with that the way I had to sit with it, alone, in my kitchen at 4 in the morning, once she'd told me, and I'd walk back upstairs on legs that didn't feel like mine. A grieving old man, wandering the halls in the dead of night, mistaking doors for the one his daughter used to live behind. Whispering her name because some part of his mind refuses to accept she's gone, and on the other side of one of those doors, my door, a grieving woman who does the exact same thing, unconsciously in her sleep. whispering a different name to a sister who called her at the one moment she wasn't there to answer. Two people, two griefs, two names, one building, one hallway, and a clock that seemed to insist, night after night, that neither of us got to move on. I want to tell you I fixed it, that I helped Walter, that his family got him the care he needed, that I finally forgave myself and the knocking stopped and I slept soundly again. Some of that happened. His daughter, his real living daughter, not the one he lost, moved him out 3 weeks later, into a memory care facility across town. After the building manager finally reached the family directly, the knocking on my door did stop. The outside one, the real one in the hallway. But 2 nights after Walter left, at 3:17 a.m., I woke up standing at my own bedroom door, palm flat against the wood, and I heard myself whisper the name again, Mara, except this time when I checked the recording. There was a second sound layered underneath my voice, so faint I had to raise the volume all the way and press the phone against my ear to be sure. A knock, 3 taps from the inside of the door, like something was answering back. I haven't set up the camera again. I haven't told the building manager, I haven't told my mother, my therapist, or one living soul, until now, but I've started leaving the deadbolt unlocked at night, just in case. I tell myself it's so I can get out quickly if there's ever a fire. That's not why. I know that's not why. Some part of me is still listening for 3:17 Amudo come around, still hoping that if I open the door fast enough, one of these nights, someone will actually be standing there.